What's going on, guys? I'm Bill and welcome to Bill's How To. Today I'm going to show you guys how to get a perfect inside miter cut, whether you're doing crown molding or, like in my case, we've got some baseboards here. The concept traditionally is very simple. We've got a 90-degree corner technically that we're supposed to be working with, so you'd have a 45-degree cut on either side of your trim. Put them both together and then you'll have a nice tight miter, 90 degrees. Okay, so 45 equals 90. We're supposed to have a nice tight corner. The problem is these walls here, especially with the inside corners, might not be 100% square. And what happens is if your wall is not square, that means it's not sitting at 90 degrees. It could be sitting at 80, 85, 95, and it might cause a little gap down in your trim. So this is a very common problem. Most of the times people like to fill it with gap filler. You can get away with doing it like that. Once it's painted, it's very hard to tell, but I'm going to show you guys a little trick to be able to get perfect inside miter joints every time. Let's do this. So you can see here in my hand, we've got a nice tight miter joint. The problem is, like I said, once we bring that miter joint over onto the wall isn't necessarily 100% square. So you can see there, we've got a bit of a gap running all the way down, and that's not what we want. So the easiest way to get around this is, rather than cutting our first piece on a 45-degree miter cut, what I like to do is just cut that square, just 100% straight cut all the way down, and we'll put our first piece straight up, hard up against the wall. What we do then is we focus on our second piece. Second piece is cut on a 45-degree angle. Okay, and then what we're going to do is, we can see here all the exposed timber from our 45-degree cut. So we're going to bring all this material here, remove it all out, which is called coping. Traditionally, people used to do this with a coping saw, which looks exactly like a little hacksaw, but designed for timber. So they used to sit there and back cut all of this. It takes a lot of time, a lot of effort. I'm going to show you guys the easiest way to do this, and that's using a flap disc on your angle grinder. Very nice and simple technique. You can basically sand all this material here out within a couple of seconds, and we're just going to back cut this to make sure we get a nice tight fit into the corner. So this is the flap disc. You can see it's just got sandpaper all glued on top of each other, and it sits on your angle grinder. What we're going to do, we're going to take off all this section here, all the way through here, up until the pre-primed area. So remove all of that, and then we're going to back cut it a little bit further in. Even on the edge down here on the back side, we're going to back cut down here as well. And once that's done, guys, this is what it ends up looking like. So we took our flap disc, removed that excess material all the way up to the pre-primed surface. We contoured around the shape of the colonial trim here, and then we back cut a little bit on the bottom and then from the back as well. So you can see there, it's not too significant of a back cut, but it's enough to give me that little bit of play that I'll need on my other piece of trim. So if we take our other piece of trim now that should have already been installed, this one here doesn't have a miter cut. We can take our cope piece, and that can sit anywhere along that trim with a perfect finish every single time. Even if we over exaggerate it to make our wall a lot more out of square, you can see there it sits perfect every single time, guys. So if we install this one here on the wall, no miter cut on our first piece, line that one there up with the wall, nail it in place. We take our cope piece then, and we can slot that straight over the top, and we've got a perfect miter every single time, guys. Couldn't be any easier. Piece of cake. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed the video. As always, like, comment and subscribe. Until next time, I'm Bill. Thanks for watching Bill's How To.